Chapter 20, The Generation Game. This chapter looks at generation theory, which is well grounded in research, and although it has its doubters, I think it's a very valid subject to look at when you're thinking about your people. This chapter in Purple Your People looks at the three generations you'll find in the workforce today: the baby boomers, Generation X and Generation Y. There's a very useful table of characteristics because it's so important to understand how these generations differ in their attitudes and their behaviours, so as to work together better and, more importantly, to learn from one another. If you're not sure which generation you fall into, a good way to do it is by music. For example, if you're a baby boomer, you would have probably bought your first piece of music on vinyl. Or if you bought your first music on a cassette, you're probably Generation X. And if you went straight into iTunes, then you'll be Generation Y. It's very important to think about communicating with these generations because they like to communicate differently. They like to give and receive information differently, and it's so important to be aware of that. Value diversity, learn from each other, but be aware that you are different.